10 minutes, how to catch an ILS and autoland the A320 fly-by-wire. Here we go, Captain.
30.
You are in the last lesson of this series. Congratulations. Today we will see how to autoland the A320, and the only thing you need to know is how to operate the autopilot that we saw on the last episode. Let's start now. We are currently flying towards our destination airport, Geneva, at 7,000 feet and 250 knots. The airport is 15 miles ahead of us, just behind this mountain. If you followed this series, you would already have a valid flight plan in the onboard computer. But for this tutorial, let's imagine the plane is not configured. First click in it, then enter your destination airport. In our case, Geneva Lima Sierra Golf Golf. Then click the next page and validate the weight of the aircraft. To finish, click on the flight plan page, then enter your arrival. For today, we will land on runway 22 using an ILS. As shown on the navigation display, you can see the destination airport, as well as a path in the runway axis. The goal is to fly a couple of miles on the runway's opposite direction, then make a 90 degrees left turn, then align with the runway in order to catch the ILS. To do that, keep going until 10 miles from the runway. At 10 miles, take the runway's opposite heading, in our case, heading 040. We can confirm on the navigation display that the blue arrow gives us a heading parallel to the runway axis. Make minor adjustment if needed. Now let's calculate our target altitude. To get your target altitude, open the EFB. Insert your destination airport as origin and departure. Select the approach, ILS 22, and validate the new procedure. A purple section is now visible on the left. Click the map button, then find the ILS 22 approach. At the bottom of the page, check the first or second waypoint altitude. Let's focus GG 808 at 4,000 feet. Now we know our target altitude. We will start the descent just after our plane passed the airport. Looking outside, we should start the descent now while slowing down the aircraft. Select 4,000, pull the speed button, then select 210 knots. Apply a descent rate of 700 feet per minute. This descent rate will allow us to decrease altitude while also decreasing airspeed. You could also use open descent mode instead of VS mode. I use VS mode because I like to be in control of both speed and altitude, but it's only personal preference, so do whatever is best for you. Just bring that plane to the target altitude while moving away from the airport. Now let's open the EFB again and look for the top right corner of the ILS 22 approach chart. You would see the frequency of the ILS. Get back to the MCDU, press RadNav menu, then enter the ILS identifier, in our case, India Sierra Whiskey. Please note that if you properly set up the flight plan at the beginning of your flight, this frequency will automatically be set, so no need to do that. ILS frequency set? Now you can click the LS button and visualize the ILS representation on the PFD. If two pink diamonds are visible, it means your plane is receiving ILS information. If not, maybe you are too far from the antenna or you did something wrong. Now click the performance page and click Activate Approach. It will let the computer calculate the best final speed during the approach. Good. Everything is set now, and your plane is peacefully descending while getting away from the airport. Next step will be to make a 90 degrees turn to be perpendicular to the runway. We could do that performing a direct to waypoint, but that would lead our plane to a bad angle when catching the ILS. Remember, we need to bring the plane inside a plus or minus 30 degrees cone at the beginning of the ILS. As a result, I prefer to use selected heading, so I get more control during the turn. We are just passing the last waypoint of the ILS, and we are getting below the glide slope. Let's change heading and place the aircraft perpendicular to the runway axis. Make minor adjustment if needed. Now the plane is perpendicular to the runway axis. Final heading change would lead the aircraft in an imaginary cone of plus or minus 30 degrees from it. Wait until the waypoint is in 3 to 2 miles, then start the turn. Okay, it looks like the right time to do it. Runway heading is 220 degrees. Let's take a heading of 250 degrees. As the plane turns, Click the Localizer function on the autopilot. It will ask the autopilot to catch the runway axis and follow it. Verify LOC on the FMA, validating the autopilot caught the localizer. Take a look outside and verify the runway is indeed in front of you. Runway ahead, it looks good. Localizer aligned. Now it's time to reduce the airspeed in preparation for the descent. Select 180 knots and verify the flaps threshold is above the current airspeed. Let's set flaps 1. We are about to intercept the glide slope as shown by this magenta diamond. Let's activate approach on the autopilot so it will catch the glide slope soon. Verify on the FMA that you see a GS in blue, just below the ALT indication. It means the autopilot will continue at the target altitude, then catch the glide slope as soon as this magenta diamond will be centered. Glide slope catched. GS now on the FMA and the plane starts descending. It's now time to reduce to final approach speed. To do that, push the airspeed button on the autopilot and the plane will catch the final approach speed calculated by the onboard computer. As speed will decrease, we will need to increase flaps. Set flaps 2. Wait for airspeed to drop below the threshold. Flaps 3. Verify again. Flaps full. We can also put the gear down. Last thing to do is validating this small landing checklist. Landing gear is about to be down. Let's enable seatbelts and inform cabin crew for landing. Spoilers, armed, then bonus you can set the autobrake as low. It will automatically slow down the aircraft while on the ground. Optionally, you could activate Autopilot 1+2, which is required in a real-world situation for security reasons, but it will work okay with only Autopilot 1. Last check on the FMA to verify everything is properly set. Airspeed is managed by the onboard computer, and we are on it. Brakes are set to low after touchdown. The autopilot follows the glide slope and localizer for runway axis. The last thing we will need to do is decrease engine power and deploy reverse thrust after touchdown. Take a look at the FMA. Now it switches to land instruction, meaning the autopilot initialized its landing phase. A couple feet from the runway, FMA changes to flare. At this time, you can put the power to idle and wait for the nose gear to touchdown. Nose gear rolling. Let's activate the reverse thrust by pulling the lever all the way back. Please note, the autopilot is still in charge of maintaining the runway axis. "40 knots. Put the thrust to idle. Then remove auto brake and disconnect autopilot." Unfortunately, the flare was not as good as I expected, and the plane touched hard. It will depend on your weight, weather conditions, etc. You might have better success while doing so. All I can advise is to try this on your own. And this is it. Now you know how to auto-land the A320 fly-by-wire. If you want a more detailed explanation of ILS and Autoland, feel free to check our dedicated video about that. In the next episode, we will probably make a full flight in order to sum up all of the knowledge of this tutorial series. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more content. Happy landings, Captain.